So we were never taught of what is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Though we have this fundamental things Java and all. After coming into this field, I understand what is HTML, CSS, but there was always a lagging skills where I have to upskill myself. I think I will be irreplaceable, and I think my job will be more secure at that point. When you go join company, they do expect something from you, so you have to deliver those things. So I felt somewhere that is lagging. So I come from Hyderabad actually. So I've completed my graduation in 2021. So after the graduation, there was certain period where I was just gaining my skills. So I started from there back in 2021. So later, I landed in my first job in Code Solutions Private Limited. So I was with an experience for almost like 6 months. I think 2021 again, that was the period where it was 2022, I guess 2022 to 2023. That was the peak time of recession. So everyone does know that software engineer that was great period where everyone were losing jobs and all. But one thing people will not just lose their jobs like that, right? So when you go when you go join company they do expect something from you, so you have to deliver those things. So I felt somewhere that is lagging because I come from a BTech background, though I come from CSC background. So we were never taught of what is HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Though we have this fundamental things Java and all, but we were never aware of JavaScript and all. So I after coming into this field, I understand what is HTML, CSS, but there was always a lagging skills where I have to upskill myself. So I thought when if I get equipped myself with the skills and everything, I think I will be irreplaceable, and I think my job will be more secure at that point. So that's the reason why I just thought to. I just took after right after my intermediate, I was just what to do next. I don't know what the hell is this software engineer and all. But there is always this just in me, whenever I see any kind of app or whenever I open any kind of app, be it web, people do realize that it is not just the app, because right now we are just sitting each you are in some other place and I'm in I'm here, and people who are going to watch this video, they'll be in somewhere else, but still we are getting connected through one app, right? So this kind of things interest me, technical words and all. So this that helped me. So Coding Ninjas, I think again the last company when I was working. So I was just discussing with one of my friends, I wanted to go through, I wanted to learn coding, and I don't know what platform to choose. Like they did, suggest me two, three other people, and I was also in contact with them as well. Before Coding Ninjas, I was speaking to them as well. Then suddenly my one of my friends, shows up and they tell, this, this Coding Ninjas visited my college. They were offering this free kind of things, they are good, they teach good and all these things. So she just enrolled me, she from there I didn't know about the coding ninjas before. Then she explained me what is Coding Ninjas, and how they help students and also from there I got interested. In job boot camp. So I think during the job guarantee program, after in the placement pool, when I entered placement pool, I was getting at least 3 times a week I used to give interview. For the first 10 days, I did not get any calls. I was little reluctant, and I kept calling my RM, and I just sent started sending the mails and all. Then later, I got the first first interview I got joined in December 1st, I guess. And my first interview was in December 18th. So 18 days, they just asked me to prepare, develop few apps, or they asked me to prepare. And once I was ready, and then my first interview happened, and like that I started giving 3 interviews a week, like that. Well, so actually, right now, I'll give you an example. For example, if if there is a big forest there, if I leave you there, and if I ask you to go search for a road, so it will be you'll go for every 2 seconds, you'll be for every 2 steps, if you keep distracting. So that doesn't happen, right? So for example, Coding Ninjas is that path for me, which really connected to my destination. For example, some you were lost in a jungle, someone comes to you and tell you this is the way that you have to go, and you blindly believe them, and you just go, right? So yeah, and you'll find your destination. So that's what Coding Ninjas makes a difference. In YouTube, we do have n number of videos and everything, but they do not provide everything with that detail. Even if there are one or two videos like that, for you to land up there, it will take some time, right? So I just wanted to save that time. And you don't know, if that sometime comes in 1 year, or 2 year, or maybe like you end up in 6 months, something like that. So yeah. I think that was Dheeraj sir, I should say, because whatever the explanation that he was giving, it was pretty deep, and pretty straightforward, and I did not end up confusing anywhere, because if I just rewatch the videos, I can I was very connecting. It was even for a beginner also, it is very friendly. And other than that, Falak Chandni ma'am, though the videos will be lengthy, but still whatever she teaches, she teaches in depth. So once you complete her videos, I think there is no looking back for you. One thing I will say, what the explanation that Coding Ninjas provides, that whatever the recorded lectures that we have, that is one thing that I'll say. And the other one is support. So whenever I used to raise any kind of ticket, that used to get resolved in 1 or 2 days. Even there was a background check of it as well, whether this is getting checked or no, whether the student is satisfied or no. These things were very really good. And one more thing, if you ask me, that the thing is I could say, the company website itself, I think you can just reach out to those people, and I think mentors and these people. Yeah, this point I must take, because before entering into Coding Ninjas as well, I was just I was a front end developer there. But if I just stick to the part, I would have gone there. But the amount of confidence skills, see, right now, I can able to speak to any kind of individual, professionally I'm speaking. If there is any kind of individual there, if I have to speak to him, and I should have something, right? Uh, but I should have some skills. So without any skills, or without any kind of thing, if you have 50%, 30% of knowledge, and if you just go start giving the interviews, all you are going to get is tired, but nothing. So Coding Ninjas, when I started my journey with Coding Ninjas, I can say, the like only high level language you will be having for Coding Ninjas. What I felt before Coding Ninjas, I was only having high level knowledge, but when I entered into Coding Ninjas, it was all deep. So I I clearly understand what is JavaScript, what is HTML, and each of these words, and everything in detail, and in the proper time as well. Because all the videos, they're properly designed for the working professionals only, I guess. It is not you have to spend your entire day sitting there and you'll not understand. It is not like that. For example, if you sit there, if you open the course, there will be clearly including with the day, they plan everything for you. So I think that is very important. I think consistency is the advice that I'll give you, to all the people who are going to come, the one who passed out of, the one who want to, migrate their profession. I think consistency is one thing, and be consistent with the coding. So I think it will land you the job. That's dream job.